Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome a very, very senior and accomplished professional from Dhaka, Bangladesh, Azra Salim. Azra, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ashutosh. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Azra is the managing director and CEO of Shombhob Health, which is an e-commerce portal, shombhob.com. She's the director of Jason Pharmaceuticals Limited, and she's the finance chair of Entrepreneurs Organization, Bangladesh. And those of you who know me know that I've been a YPO member for far too long. So, Azra, let's start by asking you a question. Tell me a little bit about your journey before we start talking about Shombhob.
My journey as a person, from a very young age, I actually just wanted to make a difference in whatever I do. I just wanted to make a difference in the lives of people. When I went for my higher education, for my graduation in the US, even then I focused on learning. I worked for a few years, focused on learning from the job. And then I moved back to Bangladesh to join my family business, manufacturing pharmaceuticals. And that was an exciting journey. I learned so much over 10 years in the pharmaceutical industry. There's so much to learn from and so different. Work environment from country to country is so different. So that was really exciting to learn while my family was growing. And I've thoroughly enjoyed working and raising a family in Dhaka. Now that my boys are a little older and I have more time to focus on my work, I thought that finally I would actually take some time and start this venture that I've been dreaming of for the last few years.
Fascinating. So let's start talking about Shombhob.com.
Yeah.
And if I'm right, Shombhob means the possible, isn't it?
Correct.
So tell me about this venture and what was your motivation to start it, especially because you've got a big family business.
Right. Well, I always believed in using technology to make operations easier, to make our lives easier. I'm not a tech person, but I love using technology and adapting to technology, new technology. So when I was in the family business of manufacturing pharmaceuticals, I got an idea that an e-commerce focused on medicines and healthcare products will bring us even closer to our end consumers and give us market insights in the industry where we operate. So I've been wanting to do this. It was in my head, but running a full-time business, and that was so big, it was hard to get time. During COVID, I really felt this belief in my idea, and I thought that this is something that I should actually do because I feel so passionately about it, and I've been dreaming about it. And there was no clear market leader in this space. So then I finally made the jump last year. I took some time off from the other business, and last year I started this online pharmacy and healthcare shop for humans and pets.
Wow.
And it's very exciting.
And do you think you're going to expand beyond medicines and healthcare to other products?
My hope is that once the Shombhob name earns trust and confidence in the Bangladeshi customers' minds, and once we have a customer database, I do have plans to offer some healthcare related services, and that is going to be new in the Bangladeshi market, what I would like to offer. And before that, I do need to earn my customers' confidence and trust. So that's what we're working on now.
Well said. And one of the things that we have noticed in India when it comes to the pharmacy retail platform is that people are now going because of price discounting. How important is discounting to be able to build a platform like Shombhob?
So we noticed that customers have an expectation of discount. They feel like because we are selling from behind a computer screen, we may not have the overheads that other brick and mortar businesses have. And there's an expectation of discounts. And there are many online pharmacies in Bangladesh also. There are several online pharmacies who are focusing on deep discounts to acquire customers. But at Shombhob, one of our key learnings has been to resist the temptation to offer deep discounts to acquire customers, because that is not a long-term relationship. So we are very customer service focused, and what we offer is not just one transaction. We are working to build a relationship with the customer. So yes, while we do offer discounts to our say monthly prescription refills and our regular customers, just as a way of saying thank you for staying with us, but that is not the hook to get people to buy medicines from us, because our customer service is backed by, supervised closely by pharmacists. And most people in my team come from the pharmaceutical industry and are experienced. And we offer a small value add in the supply chain and in the fulfillment of the order that that is a little different from the other competitors, I would like to say. And so yes, there is an expectation, but we find that people who value this service, the quality of the service and the convenience that we offer, we are able to attract customers and our long-term customers who are staying with us. They are okay, even if we don't give deep discounts, and it's medicines. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Azra, you just mentioned that you have some differentiation with the others. Tell me a little bit about some of the key differences that you have.
Well, I have started this venture, a startup, much later in my life than other startup founders. And I find my team is also, they're mostly experienced, like I said. So we have the industry experience that inherently adds value in the service. And we find at Shombhob, somehow people, through word of mouth now, because our supply chain is quite strong, and because we have connections in the industry whereby sourcing hard to find products also is as part of our daily job now. We find customers calling us from hospital ICU beds also to source medicines. We find and another place where we have successfully, I feel, already differentiated ourselves is that most of our customers are women. Most of our customers find Shombhob to be a safe space for buying feminine hygiene products, reproductive health products, things like pregnancy test kits, emergency contraceptives, you know, things like that, which women, maybe because of our culture or whatnot, have been hesitant to walk into a shop and buy. Shombhob is a safe place for them to buy. So definitely we have differentiated ourselves. And that was one of my goals starting out, that I would like to empower women to shop for their own reproductive health products and be comfortable. Most of our all of our customer service executives are women, consciously, because we want both men and women to feel comfortable calling. We offer 24-hour service, so any time of the day or night you can find somebody on the other end of the line.
Fascinating. And Azra, tell me, how robust is the supply chain in rural Bangladesh?
It's a challenge. Rural Bangladeshis, they find the basics, but there is a challenge for them to find and source often authentic medicines and healthcare products. So a lot of the times people are traveling to the bigger cities to shop for their medical needs and to see doctors and all that. So definitely there is a gap in terms of the supply and demand for authentic medicine. I mean, pharmaceutical companies are doing a great job supplying to every every district and all the villages. And having come from the pharmaceutical industry, I know that it's a tough job, but we maintain the distribution network ourselves, the pharmaceutical industry, to ensure that the product gets there properly. So we don't, in Bangladesh, we don't work through stockists. We deliver our own. So it is a challenge, but people have adapted and they do source from the cities whenever they need.
Fascinating. The other question is that, customer expectations have changed dramatically from an e-commerce platform. I mean, in India now, some of the big guys are actually offering 10-minute delivery of grocery. How is it in Bangladesh? What are customer expectations, and how are you at Shombhob managing those expectations?
Thank you. That's a very important question. In e-commerce in Bangladesh, while it has picked up, and we have had so many new e-commerce companies, medicines, but the Bangladeshi population, maybe because we're small geographically, the Bangladeshi population is not so impatient to get their deliveries, so they understand, and the traffic conditions are horrendous in Bangladeshi cities. So even if we deliver within an hour, that is very good. That is very good because most e-commerce companies are delivering through third-party logistics providers. But at Shombhob, because we are doing our own, because we are delivering medicines, we do our own delivery with our own network. And compared to the leading grocery e-commerce solution provider who provides within an hour, I think Shombhob is sort of at par within an hour to a couple of hours. And then sometimes people just schedule deliveries for later as well, because it is medicine. They would like to be there when they take delivery of it. So we try to accommodate that. And it's been interesting. And we try to accommodate customers' scheduled deliveries and their preferences as much as possible.
Very interesting. There is also a lot of talk about using technology for the supply chain, example, drones. What are your thoughts of using such technology in Bangladesh?
Oh, it's great. And my feelings about drones is that it's perfect for certain products, but maybe not so for others. And while it is very effective, I mean, given the traffic conditions in cities like Dhaka and Chittagong, some Bangladeshi cities are very densely populated and the traffic is very heavy. Drones may be a good solution down the line, but I don't know. I feel from my own experience, from my own preference, I feel like drones are probably suitable for marketplaces that are selling less sensitive products, for healthcare products and medicines. I don't foresee drones taking over that human interaction.
Okay. Then let me now ask you a question as a startup entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You've started building out an absolutely fascinating platform. What have been some of your challenges and some of your learnings as you have scaled up?
Challenge has obviously been being a newcomer in in this field. Challenge has definitely been to earn people's confidence and trust, to trust us to deliver their medicines for their loved ones, deliver their healthcare products for them and their loved ones, because the other alternative is to send somebody to the nearest pharmacy or to drive down to the pharmacy. Of course, the time taken. So it's almost too good to be true in terms of our in our customers' opinions, that I'm getting authentic medicines and on-time delivery and I don't have to step out. So earning that trust has been a challenge. But once we do deliver and meet that customer expectation, then we feel like there's word of mouth, a reference, and recommendation, and they keep coming back. So that has been a challenge actually, to just like any new business, to get the word out. And to set up the processes where we meet customer expectations. And the learning in terms of scaling up is always starting with in-house. The company, the values that Shombhob stands for, we have to drill it into the team time and time again, till everybody, all of us, speaks the same language. All of us have the same priority. Just we have update meetings with the whole team where I share everything that's happening, from even if it's not in their related line of work, in their function. So everybody's updated on what's going on. And it was interesting, just at the last update meeting, I actually asked people, my team members, what does Shombhob stand for? Why would somebody come to Shombhob? And I was so happy to see that after all these months of telling them what we want to be, now they are talking my language. Now they also share the value. So that is important too, because it translates, and customers see that in every interaction we have. So if we want to increase our sales and be a certain somebody to our customers, we need to all speak the same language.
Well said, well said. And for our viewers and listeners, tell us, what are your values?
Integrity, integrity of service, and sincerity with how we interact with each other and our customers. We go out of the way to listen to them, to listen to their. Some transactions are very easy, order, deliver, done. But then there are people, healthcare products are something you need when you are not feeling your best self.
Correct.
So often we have agitated customers. Often we have customers who are a little demanding, and we have to understand. We do understand. So we are sincere in our interactions with our customers. We are empathetic to their requirements. And that is what we stand for. We're a safe place. You can call us from anywhere. We've had people call us from hospitals. We've had people call us from their family, calling us when there's a family member in an ICU, for a newborn baby. So many things. So many stories that have touched us and made us who we are today.
Wonderful. I have time for a couple of more questions. Azra, how has the pandemic impacted Shombhob.com?
The pandemic has set the stage for Shombhob.com because we were still in the inception stage when the pandemic really hit. But following that, when we started operations around mid last year, pandemic was still there. And so people were still open to finding solutions for medicines and healthcare products online. So I think the stage was set. And now if we work sincerely and we position ourselves as a reliable service provider for medicines and healthcare products, I think we will do very well. In the pandemic, we found people care about these things, the safety, the reliability, the authenticity of the products, that they are trusting us to deliver to them at home. So it's set the stage for us to succeed.
Interesting. My next question to you is that a lot of the e-commerce initially has been driven by the young people, the millennials, the Gen Zs, and even younger. Is this a similar situation in Bangladesh?
Yes, absolutely. The startup scene in Bangladesh is very young, very energetic, very talented people, people with great ideas. And it's just starting to pick up in Bangladesh over the last 2-3 years, especially. We have seen so many new startups and so many younger people starting their own ventures. It's very encouraging, and it's great to see.
Fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. And my last question to you, Azra, and this is for the many, many people who will listen to our conversation. What would you say are 3 lessons you would want our viewers and listeners to take away from your amazing journey?
Well, you have to, I think, believe in your passion. You have to believe in your vision very, very passionately.
Yeah.
But you have to be flexible in the mechanics of getting there. I knew what I wanted, but how it came about was very different from what I imagined. That's one thing.
Yeah.
The other thing is to learn from everybody that we interact with, everything that we see, read, hear. I talk to people about Shombhob. I talk to people about their own ventures, and I learn and implement. So that's a great thing. And also that, there's no substitute for really hard work. There's no sustainable shortcut to success.
Correct. Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Azra, on that note, and your 3 amazing lessons: believe in your vision passionately, but be flexible. What a great thought. Second one is learn from everybody. And the third one is there's no alternative to hard work. Thank you so much for speaking to me. Thank you for talking to me about Shombhob Health, shombhob.com, about your journey, about the e-commerce market in Bangladesh. Bangladesh, of course, the whole world is talking about as an example of what an economy can and should be. Thank you again for speaking to me, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh, for having me. It was great to talk to you, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for The Brand Called You.